We are joined by Credit Agricole Securities analyst Ed Maguire. Maguire has an underperformed rating on Oracle with a price target of $30 a share. And Ed, great to have you in the loop.
Good morning, Betty.
You know, we had that big miss, right, for the second quarter from Oracle. So was that a one-time event? What do you expect for the third quarter?
Well, we're looking for Oracle to meet their numbers. I think the street expectations right now are very conservative. Current consensus is actually below the midpoint of management's revenue and earnings guidance. But I think some of the questions that were raised by the miss last quarter may not necessarily be answered just with this quarter's results.
Why not?
The concerns that cloud computing is having a cannibalistic impact on some of Oracle's application business is certainly top of investors' minds because Oracle spent $3.4 billion on the acquisitions of RightNow and Taleo, and certainly the cyclicality apparently of the systems business, particularly their exascale or the exasystems appliances, I think is also a question about how sustainable that can be.
Well, I mean, Ed, one of the things we talk about with Oracle, you can't forget about its size. This is a huge company. It reports so much later in the season than a lot of other companies do. So we forget that they could be a bellwether for the overall economic environment, for business spending. Like IBM is viewed earlier in the season, like perhaps Microsoft is. What exactly do you expect Oracle to signal about overall business spending in this economy?
Well, management's always been very careful to distinguish their own fundamentals from being a broader read-through for the rest of software. If you recall, the company's been able to execute through some very tough economic times and make their numbers while a lot of their customers have struggled. I do think that the tone that they'll look to signal is that that they're executing better. One of the points that management was making on the call in November was the deal cycles had gotten a little bit difficult, but they really had pointed the finger at themselves and their own execution more than anything else. And I think that's a sign of a company that's very focused on their own execution, their own product portfolio. So it's going to be much a bigger read-through for investors than I think management actually intends it to be.
But are there signs that you've seen that they are executing better?
Well, certainly. I think there were a number of deals that had missed that closed in the in the first part of the quarter. We've seen a general improvement of business confidence in the first couple of months of the year. So I think that's certainly going to help. But I think the long-term questions about how they make the transition from being a products to a services company, as cloud computing really takes hold, is the question that's top of mind.
Well, one of the things that Betty and I look at all the time are the personalities, the people at the top. Obviously, we know about Larry Ellison, but Mark Hurd has a very significant role in this company right now. As an analyst, how important is Mark Hurd and his role within the company to your forecast for how Oracle is going to execute in the future? Well,
I think his role as a as a leader of field operations and sales strategy, can't be underestimated. I think he's brought a lot of discipline, a lot of focus to Oracle. But I think Oracle, to your point again, is such a big company that there are going to be a lot of moving parts. I think what was surprised many investors in the November quarter was to actually see Oracle miss on all metrics in all regions. So,
well, there was all of this talk about a global IT meltdown, right?
It was, and what happened was that did not manifest itself in the December quarter. In fact, the question around share gains and share losses at Oracle against their competitors I think has become more top of mind. When you see good results out of SAP, out of IBM, it does raise the question whether Oracle needs to change its strategy at all to compete with some of the new offerings like SAP's HANA appliances, and IBM has certainly been executing well. The challenge for an Oracle, I think, is really to prove, this quarter that it really was a one-time miss, and we don't have broader secular issues at work.
Ed, thank you. Really appreciate it. Ed Maguire of Credit Agricole on Oracle.